Warning, the following podcast does have an explicit tag, and we would hate to disappoint it.
One, two, three into the four. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the...
You are listening to Not Another Atheist Podcast. The podcast, Ramblecast without, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to do the intro this time because I've already done this before. I've wasted everybody's damn time.
You know what you totally remind me of? You totally remind me of Movie Phone.
You know what, I can always...
Welcome to Movie Phone.
I can always add that in post. Anyways, thank you, Jen, for joining me. But most importantly, I have three wonderful ladies to thank. As stated in the last episode, we tried an interview once before. We have three interesting bloggers who each have a very unique story to tell, and we are really, really excited to give them the chance to use our platform to get their voices out there, as well as kind of shed light on what appears to be a huge problem in this world, and that is men can't fucking behave. So without any more spoilers, I'm going to name them off, and then I'll let them introduce themselves. So we'll start off with Jerry. Jerry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello, Jerry.
Jerry is a blogger from Tumblr that I found. She's actually, I think she was probably the first one that I found, which kind of got me down this whole echo chamber of other women who had decided that they had had enough. So joining her are Feral.
Hey,
Hello and welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. And also joining us is Sarah. Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Hello, how's it going?
Can I just say I am completely addicted to your guys' blogs? And, like, mostly I get them off Feral's blogs, like, because she's the first one that comes up for me. I'm completely addicted. Like, every night I'm laying in bed scrolling. Like, just the first one, I'm like, what got posted today? I'm like, I can't sleep, check the blogs.
Awesome.
Yeah, Feral is definitely kind of the...
It's a good laugh.
she's
I
the
love
aunt
it.
of the group, I think, is a good way to call her.
Yeah, that's
And then,
that's
like,
pretty
I'll
much.
click on, I'm sorry, Ham. Like,
Sarah's
I'll click on your
started that.
guys. I'll click on your guys, and I'm like, yes, it's now 3 a.m, and this is fantastic.
So, as stated, the three of them, they have blogs that showcase their encounters with men on the internet and their inability to be decent human beings. So, we're just going to start from the very beginning. At what point, so the question I'm going to pose to all three of you, and I'll go through, get each of you to answer this one. At what point were you on social media and these dating websites, and how long was it before you decided that you were just going to start putting it into a blog? So we'll start off with Sarah.
I think I've had this blog for, I want to say 2 or 3 years. I used to submit them to larger blogs, and just submit occasional posts, and then I realized that there was so much bullshit that I could just make my own. So that was when I started making my own, and mostly just sort of talking into a vacuum, I felt, because there wasn't anybody who particularly cared, but I had so many ridiculous posts that I just felt like I could have a whole blog about them. And eventually, I think it was Jerry who eventually found something I posted, and then, I don't know, it blew up. And then suddenly I had a lot of people following me and was kind of confused about how I got there, but that was sort of how I started.
Pretty modest start, I'd say. All right, let's move on to Feral. Feral, how about you? How did you get started on this whole idea?
Well, I started much like Sarah did with submitting things to other blogs, but for me, a lot of my responses are a little more intense, I guess, than some of the other ladies. So I thought, well, a lot of the stuff that I say to these assholes, probably, it's possible people aren't going to feel comfortable putting it on their blog. So why don't I just start one of my own?
That's pretty fair. And
Her responses are friggin' fantastic. Love
Jen
them.
is, Jen is
Huge fan.
Jen
Thank
is
you.
not wrong. Feral's blog posts some of the most interesting and eloquent ways of dealing with some of these guys.
I thought I was the only person that responded that way to assholes.
No.
Because like every other one I seen, these girls were like so pieced together and so nice, and I was just like, I was telling guys that their mother should have learned to swallow, to go apologize to trees, like crazy shit. And I'm like, oh my god, there's somebody else. There's somebody else. I am not a fucking crazy bitch. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I mean,
appreciate
you
that.
might be, but you're not the only one.
But I'm not a crazy bitch alone.
Right.
And that makes the difference. That makes all the difference in the world.
It
And
does.
and last but certainly not the least, we have Jerry. Jerry, same question.
Well, I will say when I started online dating, like, I don't know, 4 years ago or so, I opened OkCupid and I had it open for like maybe a month, maybe. Actually, I think it was like 2 weeks before I closed it again because it was so terrifying. And then I randomly found Tumblr, and I found a couple of blogs on Tumblr where people were showing these horrifying messages that they were getting, and I was like, wait a minute, everybody gets these. And so I started mine, and I get, the people that I met on Tumblr helped me through all of the awful, awful things that I went through on OkCupid, and Plenty of Fish, and it was just, yeah. So that's how I started my blog.
I'm not gonna lie. With some of the things that I've seen Jen share with me, she has most certainly got a couple of interesting submissions for you. Moving right along here. So I tried to format this a little differently because last time apparently I was nowhere near as organized as I had hoped to be. So I've just gone through what we went over and created a couple of jumping off points. So the first one that I got here is I just want to kind of do a little bit of a discussion about boundaries, just because that is something that I think is a common theme among all of your blogs, as well as several of the other ones that I follow, even the fucking one on Instagram that I follow. So I just kind of want to talk a little bit about boundaries, if you don't mind. So what I have down, that common things that I've seen from all of you, is there are things like age, distances, people not opening up with a compliment, i.e., hey sexy, hey beautiful, gorgeous. I'm sure you can make a longer list.
Let me correct you on that. It's not opening up with a compliment. Being complimented is nice, but when you come out with the first thing is like, hey baby, hey honey, which is like a pet name, or if the first thing they come at is immediately your look or how sexy you are, or it's something sexual along those lines where you could like feel somebody leering at you at their computer screen, then it's, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you can literally see him sitting there unbuckling his fucking pants at his computer screen, then it's a problem.
Yes.
Jen, you just got several points ahead of where we're at right now.
I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. That's what is meant by that.
But yeah. So, Jerry, why don't you tell us a little bit about the boundaries and things that you set up on your page that you frequently have to say, hey, you didn't pay attention to this. You're not somebody I wanted to talk to.
Well, being 42 and almost 43 in a couple of months, damn it. But being 42, I'm like, there's the age thing is a big thing for me. So my boundaries are typically between 36 and 46. I stretch it. Like now, I'm recently broke up with my boyfriend, so I'm casually.
No. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry to hear that, Jerry.
That's okay. It's okay. So I am casually dating. So stretch that boundary to the absolute end, which is like 33 to 49. And that's like a big stretch for me. But that's like super stretching. I'm saying, okay, this is the end all be all. I am not going to go beyond this. But then I still get like the 32-year-olds that are going, wait a minute. I'm only 1 year. But there's a reason behind those boundaries that I give, you know.
So let's explore that one, because I know for you tend to get messages by a lot of guys who are, you know, say my age or younger, and for frame of reference, you know, I'm about 27. So
About
shut
About.
up. I'm having a crisis, okay?
I'm like roughly 27, but you know, it could be younger.
Yeah,
I'm in
it
the
could be.
ballpark range of 27.
I'm
I mean-
I'm sort of 42.
Yeah, I'm kind of 34. Shit, I am 34. Jesus Christ. Shit, I'm like, wait, did I get it wrong? I've got to ask Jerry, because me and Jerry are kind of both in the same age range. That's yes, when you start hitting your 30s and 40s, even the 10-year difference is the same age range. Do you get guys way out of your age limit? Like, I'm talking 18, 20, 19. Age ain't nothing but a number. I'm mature for my age. I have list his accomplishments: a job, renting his own apartment, his own car, a cat, a hamster that has died. I don't know, an aloe vera plant or some shit. Do you get those?
It is so beyond ridiculous that I get 19-year-olds that will message me, and I'm like, I don't even understand how, one, you could feel that I would want to hear from you since I'm 42 years old, but
I think you can thank Stacy's mom for that one.
It's the cougar movement, the quote-unquote cougar movement that's been going.
I mean, if you're a teenager, you're still a teenager.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's like, I can't legally get you drunk and absolutely unlock every secret about you. I can't legally do that. So therefore, I cannot date you.
Exactly. You're a teenager. That's if teen comes after your name.
If you are within 1 year over the range of teen, I won't talk to you. Like, my cutoff is 10 above, 10 below, and I'm 34. So even 24 is stretching it for me.
You're about 34?
I'm about 34. So about 24 to 44. But like, I get these 18, 19-year-olds, and age ain't nothing but a number. Come on, give me a chance. And what gets to me and what gets them every time is, I'm like, you can clearly see why I don't speak to men this young, because you do not understand the concept of the word no, like a toddler.
Exactly.
And it nails them every time. They're like, I'm like, yeah, real fucking mature asshole.
Well, okay, but I have to say,
no, you do.
I have to say that I have a daughter who is 25 years old.
Oh, so that's just like super fucking creepy.
So it's beyond creepy.
Oh, that makes for one fucking awkward Thanksgiving right there.
Oh, God.
Fuck.
I'm
not bringing somebody home that is younger than my daughter.
No.
That is disgusting.
No. Oh my God. No. Oh.
Yeah, I honestly think that when it comes to things like that, we have both Stacey's mom and porn to thank for that, because I think that's a common theme. But
the cougar movement, where it kind of took back the whole power in the older man, younger woman thing, and now it's like, ooh, I heard that women don't hit their sexual peak until their 40s, and I'm gonna, fuck every older woman that I can because they're fucking awesome in bed. And it's like, no, the flip side to that is we're fucking tired. We are way more fucking exhausted. You're young, fucking teenage, haven't had a fucking pube ass, okay? I don't want to sit here and fuck you all night. I got TV shows to catch up on. I got lunches to make. I got fucking dishes and laundry to do. I don't have time to sit here and wait for your fucking pencil dick, your number 2 over here, your little pencil, to, rebound back from your, 2 pumps and a chump fame. I don't have time for this shit.
Well, okay, but on the other side of that, I will say that I hit my sexual peak when I was in my 40s. So,
I mean,
but
yeah, we do. But
however, I don't want to be pounded by some fucking 20-year-old who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
You know
There
the
you go.
jackrabbit sex for the younger guys, where it's just
Yeah.
like junior high school, bang, 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 and it's like, look, dude, if you come at me with the jackhammer jackrabbit sex, you're gonna throw my
Phrasing.
fucking back out. You're gonna throw my fucking back out, and that puts me out for about a week. So I can't. I really
Exactly.
can't financially afford to fuck you. Sorry.
I
Well
I am a super super horny as a 40-year-old, but I want good sex. Not
Right. You
lots
want
of sex. I want
not
good
quantity.
sex.
Yeah, you want quality, not the quantity. And like I said, you
Yes.
jackrabbit fucked me. I mean, my knees are going. I got a headache. My back is out. I got shit I gotta do. I don't have time to sit here and bang, 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 bang. And then I gotta take a fucking Toradol or I gotta take a Flexerol to fuck you again in 20 minutes. I can't do this. I can't. I'm too fucking old for this shit. Sorry. I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
You learned some interesting things there. Awesome. All right, so let's move on.
Just probably really go to a doctor and check make sure it's okay.
Farrell, why don't you give us a little bit of the sort of boundaries that matter more to you?
Well, I'm kind of the other way with the age range thing. I like the men who I date I prefer them to be older. I'm 32. I won't even look at a guy who's under 40. And that's something that I always get, people my age and, asking, well, you're only 32, right? But that has nothing to do with the age of the men that I choose to date. So age would be one of my boundaries. With that comes the people who think that because I like older men that I'm looking for a sugar daddy. That's one of my big boundaries. I'm not looking for that. I have nothing against people who that's what they want to do, but it's not for me.
Right.
Another thing I have to deal with is married men who think, oh, well, you're looking for an older guy. No, married men. And I happen to be bisexual. So one of the things, and this is a huge one because this gets disrespected by everybody, is no couple. I'm actually not a sex toy to be used by straight couples who are, trying to spice up their sex life. I'm a person.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that is one that's very frustrating because I get that from, a lot of women will come on and say, hey, do you want to join me and my husband? And it's like, dude, it doesn't matter to me whether you're a woman or a man. If you're going to be an asshole and disrespect my boundaries, I'm going to treat you the same.
As well you should, I think. That's
Right.
pretty fair.
Yeah, so those are some of the boundaries that, for me are very, very important. That and no pet names. That's a big one for me. Don't call me pet names. It's puts me in a bad
stand the
mood.
pet names. I cannot stand the pet names.
Yeah. It just comes across as disrespectful. And how about Sarah? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the boundaries that you try to establish?
Excuse me.
I mean, I'll skip over the age because I think we've covered it. Also,
Have we? I don't think we talked about it at all.
I think we covered age. I think. I don't generally get a lot of people that are outside of my age boundaries anyway. I get a lot of people who don't live near me, which is annoying. And usually I just say, you're not in my area. And they just kind of don't respond, which is fine. But also, why did you message me in the first place? I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But I get a lot of people, and I just got one, I don't know, a day or two ago, who feel the need to compliment me in the first message. And I think it honestly does go beyond just, hey, sexy, because that's very obviously disrespectful. Like, it's disrespectful when you send it to me. But the thing that really actually pisses me off a little bit more is oh, I think you're beautiful in the first message. Because, like, for one thing, I've said on my profile pretty clearly, like, please don't do that. And for another thing, like, it's just really showing me that you didn't read my profile. And it's also showing me that, like, the fact that I'm pretty is that much more important than my musical tastes or my interest in literature or my job, which I've described in my profile, or literally anything else I've described in my profile, the first thing you looked at was my pictures and you go, oh, you're hot. I'll message you because you're hot. Like, that really pisses me off. And I get that a lot. And I know a lot of guys think that they're just being nice. Like, oh, but I'm so nice and I just want to show her that I'm attracted to her. I get it. You're attracted to me because you messaged me. But you really don't need to express that when I've told you not to.
And
That's reasonable.
the distance thing, it happens here a lot. I live in it's a smaller suburban town. It's got a decent population, but the nearest major city to me is Nashville, and it's only about an hour away. But I would prefer to meet somebody local that I don't have to drive an hour and back and forth. And I'll say, sorry, you're a little too far for me. And I'll get guys as far as Memphis, Indiana. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 a day drives. Oh, well, I drive. That's not the fucking point. That's not the fucking point, asshole. Yes, I understand that there's these things that go vroom vroom and you put fucking gas in them and they take you from point A to point B. That's not the fucking point. When I say I would prefer to find someone local, or I work there, or I visit there often. Do you physically sleep here, or do you, like, what? When I say someone fucking local, that's what I fucking mean. And I've gotten a few that have been like, oh, okay, I understand, thanks. More often than not, it's, well, I drive, you wouldn't have to travel, I visit there all the time. What the fuck?
My major experience over the past couple of weeks has been the fact that I traveled to Canada, and I took a layover in North Carolina, and I managed to forget to turn off the location services on my Meet Me. And
so you got picked up there, yeah?
It was the worst nightmare I had ever had. 900 messages later from
What the crap?
I'm not kidding. It was 900 messages.
Oh my God.
From people from North Carolina.
I am so sorry.
Like, hi, how are you? And I'm like, I literally had a copy paste that said, no, I am not in North Carolina, and no, I do not come here often. That was my copy. I do not come here often, and no.
I was just passing through.
I hope you don't mind. I'm going to put a pin in that one because I do have handling rejection as slated to bring up a little bit later, because there is a special topic that I wanted to bring up, because last time we talked, Feral brought it up, and it was a hot button issue for her specifically, but I know it will translate to everybody else, so I'll let her take charge, but I will drop the word and let her go. Fetishists.
Oh, fetishists. The fetishists. They bringing it up in the first message is like, just come on, fuck you. I mean, it is beyond disrespectful, and it shows just how little concern they have for, actually obeying the rules, really, that go along with that stuff. For me, I always get, 9 times out of 10, people who want to be my slave, and people who want me to crush their genitals.
Ooh, yeah, I've gotten quite a few.
Juggalos.
Yeah, well,
I just tiny man fetish.
Yeah, I got that. I've got the tiny man fetish, the foot fetishists. It recently had a guy who had a hair fetish, and I'm just like, look, well, the last person who messaged me, would you stomp on my dick for $1,000?
Ew.
I responded saying, if I stomp on your dick, you'll be pissing in a bag for the rest of your life. That's an honest response. Okay, that is not, I mean, yes, it's humorous, but that's true. That'll happen.
Also, none of them actually have that money. I don't know why they think that we're stupid.
Exactly.
I know,
Exactly.
and see, and the thing about it is that at this point, I've been asked it so many times that if I could, like, talk to a lawyer or something and get some kind of, clearance, no liability thing, I'm starting to think of taking these men up on neutering them. But honestly, the fetish thing is really, really offensive because, to just open up like that, you're just because you have a fetish does not mean somebody else shares it. And you're also, quite frankly, ruining your chances because maybe if you hadn't been such an asshole and you'd waited and we talked, that I might do it.
Exactly.
Thank
That's the
you.
point.
And
That is the point.
and not in a way that would have them, having medical bills for the rest of their life, but in a way
Right.
that they would enjoy.
Exactly.
How
mean,
would
That's
you
the
enjoy
whole
that, though? I
point.
guess
The
you should
whole
go to-
point is don't start with it because
Right.
if we're into it, we're not gonna do it like immediately.
right.
We don't know you.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I mean, and think about how it works anyways. I mean, when you're having sex with somebody for the first time, you're not just gonna bust out the ball gag. No, you got to kind of
Exactly.
work up to that stuff. So, when somebody, well, I mean, when somebody, comes at
Sorry.
you, their first thing is, hey, you know, do you get pedicures? And I hate that. I hate that because
Oh,
I'm
the
like,
foot
don't
fetish.
take this little thing that I do for myself, that I just find this tiny little bit of pleasure in and ruin it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to put me in a bad mood and then I'm, going to ruin your evening.
No, I was actually
Yeah.
laughing so hard because when she said, the first time I have sex with you, I'm not gonna bust out the ball gag. Very early on in my discovery of my kinks, I actually made that grave mistake where this guy was like, blah blah blah, and things were going really well, and I'm like, well, okay, if you want to sleep with me, then this is what you have to deal with. And I open the closet, and there's violent shit on the other end of it, and like,
Right.
I have
Right.
never seen the color drain from somebody's face so fast. And he was
Yeah.
like, "Do you want to use this on me?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, and like his voice was physically quivering. He's like, "You want me to do that to you?" And I'm like, "You know what? Maybe it's best that if you go home because I thought he was gonna throw up in my bedroom. I really thought I was gonna puke because like
Well, what I've
turned green.
started doing really is with the fetish thing, especially, is telling they'll say, well, what's your darkest fetish? I'm like, oh, you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
You don't want to go there. And and that's the younger guys, but I mean some of the older guys, anybody who starts pushing fetishes is normally somebody who doesn't respect boundaries, and they'll try with the, oh, I bet it's not that bad. And then I'll lay out some, horribly depraved stuff, and they'll just be like, okay, and then all of a sudden I'm blocked. And my thing is, see what it feels like when somebody pushes something on you that you're not comfortable with.
But, so I'm super, super conservative when it comes to my fetishes because I do have my things that I like sexually, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Right.
And that's what I get irritated with strangers is like they go in and they're like, oh, well, let's talk about. I'm like, no, I don't know you yet, and I need to know you before I tell you what my deep, dark, secret, crazy sex things are.
And a lot of fetishes really require a mutual trust and a mutual understanding between the parties.
Exactly.
And there's a
That's
trust
what I was
that
hoping to get to.
you will respect the other's boundaries or, hard limits, off limits, whatever the case may be.
Well, and
Exactly.
that's
If-
when it gets, I mean, that's how when they approach you like that, it's an automatic turnoff, because if somebody
Exactly.
is willing to gain your consent just to talk about something like that, you're not going to put yourself in a situation where you're vulnerable with them, because they've already demonstrated that they don't, they don't
Exactly.
care for your comfort, and they're not
And
worthy
they're
of
not going to respect your boundaries with it. And what I'm into, when you don't respect somebody's boundaries, somebody could be killed. Somebody could literally be
Exactly.
killed or severely fucking injured.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, you didn't respect my boundaries enough to come into this like an adult to where I would be comfortable even speaking about it. What the fuck makes you think I'm gonna let you tie me up with fucking leather straps and beat my ass with a fucking leather belt? What the
Right.
fuck makes you think I'm gonna let you do that to me if you can't even
Exactly.
respect a fucking conversation? The fuck
Right.
away from me.
Yeah, that's because I know Sarah. Sorry, Fierl. That consent is a very big thing, especially in the BDSM community, and that's very important to you, which you have mentioned in the past. Which is why I kind of wanted to give you the floor on that one. I think that's something that it demonstrates the lack of consideration that people have for the exploration of human sexuality. They just kind of think of it as a quick hump and dump, and away they go.
Right. And it basically, I mean, what you're doing there is you're doing yourself a disservice. I mean, I think a lot of, especially with, me or, women who are, heavily tattooed or look, I guess look the part of
The
a dom.
stereotypical dominatrix look, quote
Exactly.
unquote.
So, people who look, that part, I think a lot of the times, men might feel intimidated. So, they decide, well, let me approach this woman in, a way that's, is really, really going to grab her attention, and they end up doing themselves a disservice, because my reaction is you did not wait for consent. Consent isn't something that's, a priority to you. Anybody who knows how the lifestyle works is everything is decided on beforehand. There's
And
no
paced.
surprises.
It's paced too.
It's a it's a very, very, I mean, I don't want to say regimented, but it is. It's a regimented system of consent and, constant checks for well-being. And these men, quite frankly, and I know it's been said before, but with 50 Shades of Grey coming out, everybody in there that thinks they're a dom or that they want to be a slave, and it's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, and it's really actually very dangerous.
It is.
Because people, I mean, I know enough about myself that I'm not going to say, oh yeah, sure, come on and be my slave and just abuse the shit out of somebody.
Right.
But there are a lot of people who are not like that. There are a lot of people who will take that opportunity, and they will really hurt somebody.
And I mean,
So,
let's get
okay,
into 50
can I?
Shades. Oh, go ahead, hon.
Okay, can I like interject into like I am not a BDSM person, but I have toyed in that area a little
You've
bit.
explored it.
Yes, I've explored that. So I'm going to give a story from that angle.
Yay, story time.
And story time.
Right.
So I kind of like played around with this guy that was a rope. He was a rope guy. And
that guy. Oh, those are fun.
Yeah.
Those are so fun. They get so creative.
And it was interesting and it was fun and I enjoyed it, only it got weird and it got scary. So
Okay. No, I know what you mean. Okay.
yeah, so it's just that you have to be very, very careful and like talk about these things, because this guy was like, he was okay, and for me I am a super careful person. You guys know me. I'm a super careful person, and I was scared. And I had this guy come to my house and find me. And
What?
yeah, so
I'm not surprised.
And
I'm not surprised by that. Any dom worth his salt you don't get scared.
Exactly. And to touch on the
This
50
guy-
Shades thing.
he was very, very dominant, and it was fine with me, but he would talk to me about all of I mean, he was teaching me the, dominant, submissive things.
Right.
And however, it was, I don't know, it was weird.
Well, with 50 Shades, and I'm noticing this flood now with it. I read the series because I wanted to check it out. I wanted to see what it was, and it became this like, it was like a train wreck. Like, you don't want to read it anymore because you know it's shit, but you can't help yourself. This was clearly not written from somebody from the BDSM community.
Yeah.
Consent being the number one fucking aspect in a dom sub relationship, there was none. This man stalked her. He broke into her apartment. He undressed her without consent. He would to him, the word no was not no. It was a negotiation tactic.
That's
Okay.
abuse.
Yes.
And I'm noticing this flood of quote unquote doms who are taking this role, and I'm like, you are going to fucking kill somebody. You are going to.
I don't know if you guys
don't know your limit.
I don't know if you guys remember that story that I
I do.
wrote, like from my older blog,
Yeah.
where the creepy guy came to my door.
I can't say I recall
Oh
that
my
one.
god, that's my worst.
I
Okay.
remember that.
This is why I Uber everything.
Okay, so literally, I had never told this person where I lived, but he showed up at my door one night and knocked on my door, and he told me that he had stood outside of my apartment and asked people where I lived.
Holy shit.
Oh
And
my god.
described me and asked people where I lived. And my daughter had to he was standing outside my door and telling me how much he loved me. And
What?
And my daughter grabbed me by the arm and she's like, "You're a creepy fucker," and grabbed me by my arm and pulled me inside. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
The daughter
my
saves
God.
the day.
But that was actually something the dude did in the book. She called him drunk from a fucking bar, like, most 24-year-olds drunk dial people. He GPS tracked her fucking phone and showed up at the bar. And I'm like, if this wasn't some rich, hot, fucking 30-year-old CEO, there would be cops, there would be a fucking restraining order, and be like, you're
It would be the
fucking
hills
creepy.
have eyes.
Yeah, I'm like, you're
Yeah.
fucking creepy. This would be 50 Shades of fucking orange is what this shit would be.
But
And I'm like,
I did not tell him where I lived. I
neither
did
did she.
not.
She didn't tell him where she was. And I'm like, yo,
Jerry,
yo.
It's
He figured it out from the fact that I lived in that neighborhood, and he
So he just walked around the neighborhood asking who knew you?
Yes.
What the
yes,
fuck? No. And people told
Creepy.
him? What the fuck?
Yes. He walked around
Honestly-
my neighborhood, and people told him where I lived.
Time to be beating some of your neighbors' asses. I'm just saying.
Sorry, Feral seems to be trying to add something here.
Well-
Let's get her in.
honestly, I think, with everything that I've heard about that story, it's and with, how he handled the whole, rope situation, you were probably one of the first women who allowed him to indulge in that fetish, because he didn't seem, if you were afraid, then he had no idea what he was doing. And, he probably took that and, became infatuated with you. It sucks because, that stuff can be really fun. You just had a really, really horrible person try and teach you about it. And that's where a lot of the problems with these people, these so-called fetishists, that's where that happens, because they think, oh, well, I'm a master at this, I'm a master at that. You're not. It takes years.
Because you were right, Fetish. Any dom worth his
It's
weight
true.
would turn around the minute you said, I am not comfortable with this. This is a hard limit. Would
And
stop.
he
They
would have
know.
backed off.
they'd know. There's something wrong. What is wrong with you? I mean, that's just, that's S&M 101. I mean,
Hmm. And
it's
you develop a
unfortunate.
relationship
Yeah.
where you don't even have to say anything. It's they
Right.
they pick up on the entire vibe, and it's like, okay, something's not right about this,
Yeah.
and they'll stop. You'll break scene and say, "Are you okay? Do you want to continue this?" And you need to the sub needs to trust the dom enough to say, "No, I can't do this," and it's done. It's over. And then there's an aftercare program so that you're not kind of left there, because BDSM is very emotionally draining. It can be very emotionally draining. And if you don't have a dom that will stop immediately and will provide that aftercare and be like, "I'm sorry," and try to get back to the normal world, quote unquote, drop him, because
Right.
he'll wind up hurting you.
That's not a doubt. I mean, I think, especially now, there's a lot of confusion between what is a dom and what is just an abusive piece of shit.
Right.
And that works both ways. I mean, there's women who are doms who are, um, abusive, and that's not okay either.
Right.
Um,
Right.
you know, but the fetish stuff, that's a very hot button issue for me, because I do know, I literally grew up reading the Marquis de Sade. I mean, started
Oh
reading when I
God,
was.
that's what intrigued me too with it. Was that?
Well, I mean, you can definitely see where sadism comes from,
Mm-hmm.
but I've grown up, educating myself, and I've participated in this lifestyle for a long time. So, when that's a huge red flag to me when
Yeah.
somebody immediately brings up
Yep.
a fetish.
No
Yep.
kidding. So I do want to move on, but before we do, because the poor girl does not appear to have been able to say much this segment, I did want to give I did want to give Sarah the chance to just kind of talk about maybe any experiences she's had, or guys approaching saying oh, let me see your feet, things like that. Really creepy.
Well, that's odd that you said feet because no one else is talking about feet, but that is the only one I ever get is the feet one.
His
I
feet.
don't know
That's so
why.
funny.
Well, I mean, like I every now and then, like on my Instagram, which is sometimes linked up with my dating sites with two of them, I'll just post like, look at these shoes I bought because I fucking love shoes. And then like I feel like I can't post shoe pictures anymore because some asshole guy like it'll be like literally like it'll be a photo like where it's just a full body shot and my feet like happen to be in the picture. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I like your feet. Okay, I don't like you. Goodbye.
No.
I don't like that. It's just creepy.
No.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's pushing your fetish onto somebody else and sexualizing something that is just somebody else's passion because it's a passion, right?
I just really like shoes.
I feel you. I'm a size 5 and I love shoes. I'm a size 5 and I'm a fucking shoe whore. Oh my god. With that, it's like the feet, because I have the tiny feet that are like, and I'm always in open toed shoes. Oh my god, it's fucking constant.
Horrifying.
Can I see your feet? What about these shoes? Would you try shoes on for me? I'm like, if you're gonna fucking buy them for me, you know what? I'm gonna go to fucking Poochie now. We're gonna find some $3,000 heels. You buy them for me, I'll fucking try them on.
So the
How about
I
next
love shoes.
the
I
next
love
topic
shoes.
that I was hoping to get into here that I have written down. I know we did discuss it last time, but it was still I think it's something that is worth a PSA, and that is dick pics.
Oh,
Yes.
So-
no.
So
Fucking meet me is like the graveyard. It's literally, it's like if you ever thought of sending a dick pic, get on Meet Me.
all right, so we'll start off. Sarah, what are your thoughts on dick pics, guys? Just whether they spontaneously send them to open a conversation, or they just send them like randomly because they think somehow you made a sexual innuendo that warranted their grossness.
I don't get them super often because I specifically stay on OkCupid and Tinder because A, they're the most successful for me, and B, on those sites you cannot send pictures for this
Right.
exact reason. And I don't give out my number unless I'm like railed. Like pretty much I will not give out my number unless we're already planning a date. So by that point, most likely they're not going to send one. So I don't
Right.
actually often get them because I've made it so that I don't get them. But I was getting them for like I haven't been on in a while, but on Meet Me when I used to go on there, and it just really made me angry because like I don't even open the photos on there because I absolutely don't care. You could show
And
me
you
a
just
picture
know
of
at this point.
Well, no,
I
because you could
know.
send me a picture of your puppy. I don't want to see your puppy. I just don't care. Like, I just put it on your profile if you really want to show a puppy. Like, but otherwise, I really don't want to see your private photo. Just leave me alone.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to respond because they make me angry, and responding in anger didn't seem to work. So I asked Farrell how I can respond to these
Uh-oh.
gross pictures, and Farrell sent me like serious hardcore gay porn, which worked
Hell
really
yeah.
well most of the time. They'd be like, "Ew, that's disgusting." I'd be like, "Great, don't send me your dick pic. Here's a better looking dick pic. Bye." Except for the last
I have a
time
better
it
one.
happened was a guy who said, "Ooh, that looks like fun," and I was like, abort, abort, abort. I don't know what to do.
This is
It
so
didn't
horribly
work.
wrong.
That was
Lord.
upsetting. I was very sad.
Well, since you brought her up, we'll line her up to this topic next because, in her fashion, she
yeah.
has the most creative and quite possibly the greatest way to handle this topic. So I'll let her take the floor.
Well, I slum it on Maybe. I've been on there for a while, and at this point, the only reason I'm not leaving is because I feel like they need somebody like me there. So basically, I started with, the really, really like intense gay porn. Like there has to be like a minimum of 5 dicks gay porn that I would send.
Or like
I love it.
asshole 5 inches wide gay
Yeah,
porn.
I
That
love-
stuff.
Yeah, I
I-
mean,
I love that you
like-
have a minimum. I love that. There's
just
big
all
guys.
kinds
Love
of,
it.
and just some nice gay porn. And that I ended up getting a lot of people who, would say things like, oh, that looks like fun, or, oh, why do you have those pictures in your phone? So I moved on. And now if I get a dick pic, I also don't open them, but if I get a dick pic, I send back what I have saved in my phone is genital mutilation. So they send me a dick pic, I send them a dick pic, only the dick's in like 3 or 4 pieces.
I love you. I just love that.
That literally works almost 100% of the time.
I'm not surprised.
It works
I-
with.
That's a fetish too, but it's a very uncommon fetish. But eventually, you're going to run into the one person that is into it, and you're like, "Shit, okay."
I can't wait
Well-
to see that post.
I literally, what I do is like, I send a dick pic back, but I don't open their dick pics. I'm like, I'm not opening that, and then I send a dick pic back. I'm like, I can Google a dick too.
Well, what?
Yeah.
What
I mean,
I
I
take
don't
it.
open it.
Go ahead.
You have to take that power because on Meet Me it shows if you've opened it or not.
Right.
So when you don't open
I'm
it,
like,
you
I'm
take
not
it away.
opening it, but here, I can
Right.
Google a dick too.
Exactly. I'm not opening that, but I bet I know what it is. So let me just set you up with this, champ.
Yeah. Let me
And-
just preempt this here.
Yeah, and most of the time that's met with just being immediately blocked, which is fine with me. I mean, that's the goal here. If you're not going
Exactly.
to, like,
What
if
I
you're not going to leave me alone, if you're going to
Please
send,
block me.
yeah, please.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that. What
So
I've taken
that's-
to doing is
that's definitely what I go for. I mean, I've gone for the shaming, but there's just too many men out there who
It
think
doesn't
no,
always
this is
work.
so much
the
more
shaming.
fun.
It really
This
doesn't.
is always so much more fun.
the shaming. There's too many people out there who have that fetish.
Yes, the humiliation fetish. What I've
Yeah.
taken to doing now is I'll find a pre-op transgender or transsexual person that has like a similar body to me and like kind of cut half the face off, but like a nude picture, and then send that back.
Oh, that is
And
so
they freak the fuck out. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know you was a dude. What the fuck? Why you on here trying to be a female?" And I just send those back now. I just send those over, and like I'll cut from like the tip of the nose up, so it kind of looks like me. It's like the same kind of body style, and then it'll be completely nude with a pre-op transgender person. And I mean, like, I look for like 14-inch cock pre-op type
Holy
of shit. Yeah, like I want Mandingo dick pre-op, and I'll just send it over to
Well,
them.
not all transgender people choose to have any kind of operations. So
Right.
a misnomer.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I take it to, and they flip out now. They're like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Because they think they're all fucking macho and shit, and then now they think they're talking to a dude, which is hit the fucking manhood with these fucking misogynistic dicks. I think I've gotten two that was like, "Oh, I'm cool with that," and I was like, "Shit, like abort, But with the super macho, oh, look at my dick, look at this, ain't this fucking beautiful? That's what I do now. That's exactly what the fuck I do now.
So, Farrell, you were saying.
Basically, I mean, with the dick pics, that's to me, that's the greatest sign of disrespect. That's akin to coming up to me in public and doing that. That's why I come at them so hard, because if it was a situation where in public, that would be a very different outcome. But you can't physically assault somebody online, and these guys do it for power.
Yeah,
it's a power thing.
Hey, they know you don't want it. Like, they're aware.
I'm kind of curious on that one, because I've never actually heard it framed like that. I've always just thought it was, pardon the pun here, just a really dick move, because I've actually never understood the interest in sending them. I genuinely have not.
Unless actually asked for one.
Even then, I deny. I'm like, no, because I'm not comfortable with it.
It's a power thing. Like a lot of the times when, because I didn't, understand it at first, because, when I first went on Meet Me a couple of years ago, I would get them when I told somebody I wasn't interested, politely. And I'd say, I'm really not interested, but good luck to you. And I'd get, oh, okay. And then I get a dick pic, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And it basically, what it comes down to, a lot of men have said, I forgot where I read the article now, but a lot of them say it's a power, to put their dick out there and be like, this is my junk. You don't have control over whether you see it or not. So you might say that you're, that you're not interested, but you don't have a choice. You have to be interested in this. I'm going to show it to you. And that directly ties into rape culture.
Yep.
You know what? I had never even thought about it like that. I honestly hadn't. So, learn something new every day. Jerry, I know you kind of dove into that one a little bit, but we'll give you a chance to just kind of finish your thought on how you handle them.
How do I handle what?
Dick pics.
Oh, yeah, dick pics. Oh, wait. No. Those are, they're, how I handle those, I don't. I just don't. I don't handle them. I'm like, really? Are you seriously handing me this? No, when I get a picture, I tell them, no, I don't accept that. I'm not accepting those pictures.
Like, no, I'm not gonna look at this. Fuck you. No.
I literally am not accepting a dick pic. I because I've seen so many in my lifetime. I'm not seeing. I don't want to see anymore. So when I get it, I get them all the time, and I tell them. And I lock my account so I don't have to see them. And I tell them I'm not looking at it, and it's amazing how the little ones come back with it's hey,
that's so cute. Thanks
so
for trying.
Aww, that's
You brought it out. Aw. But then again, sometimes
Thanks
those
for
guys might be
trying,
into
but
that,
we've
right?
decided to go with somebody else.
Yes. I'm not looking at that.
Well,
Alright.
thank you for applying. We'll let you know if the position's open.
Oh, good
You
God.
know what? I'm gonna try that. If next time somebody sends me a fucking dick pic, that's what I'm gonna say. Well, thank you for applying. We'll let you know if we decide to go with you for the position, and just to see the fucking reaction, just to see the reaction. Like, how do you answer that?
I guarantee you, it's interesting.
Like, but like that's not, you're not insulting them. You're acknowledging that you received the picture and you've taken it into consideration. I mean, how the fuck do you even how do you respond to that shit? That's what I'm gonna do next time. Thank you for
I don't
applying.
know.
We'll
I'm
be in
digging
touch if we
Farrell's
decide to go with
mutilated
you.
penis response. I don't think that's paralleled. I don't think there's any other way to top that.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely
not.
not. Hers is fucking phenomenal.
It
Sarah,
works.
you could not have picked a better mentor in that response.
Hey, it works.
It does. So
It's
let's move on. Next topic that I have is rejection. So I've written down just kind of a couple of common themes that I've seen in some of the rejections. So I got
What, from the rejections I've sent you? Because I've sent you quite a few.
no, and like in the ways the guys have handled the rejections from the.
That's what
these
I
ladies.
meant, like the one
Oh.
that I've sent you.
Sure.
Look at this. Look at this
so-
motherfucker.
Yeah. Look at this idiot. He thinks he knows me. Anyways, so I just wrote down a couple of them. First one being, you are insert random insult here anyways, you know, like as though they're doing you a favor. Then there's the special snowflake / let me change your mind one, or even,
God.
insults and, after, if you have to block them, they create other accounts just to harass you. Obviously, you're welcome to talk about your personal favorite type of rejection, just the one that you think is the most pathetic. So feel free to get creative and ad-lib your own here. So we'll start off with Jerry. Jerry, why don't you tell us about the most pathetic rejection you think you can receive?
My favorite is when they go to the old lady thing. That is my favorite thing. Because I'm 42 years old. I'm not a fucking old lady, but it is so hilarious when they're like, oh, I want you. I need you. You're so hot. You're
Fuck you,
and
city
then,
dick.
and then they're like, oh my God, you're so old. I'm like 10 seconds ago, you
I was
wanted
fine.
me.
10 seconds ago, I was the ideal in your fantasy of an older woman. Get over it.
Now I'm the saggy titty old lady.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Farrell, what
That
about
is That's my favorite. My
Farrell,
favorite
which
is
to
the
you
old
is-
lady.
the most pathetic? Your favorite, most pathetic one?
Oh boy.
Oh, this is gonna be good. I love it.
There's just so many to choose from. I think my favorite or the most pathetic would probably be once I've told them that I'm not interested, instead of responding to that in any coherent way, shape, or form, they just go into like asinine sexual things that they're going to do to me.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Lovely.
Like I'll say, I'm not interested. Good luck with your search. And I'll fuck you in the ass. And I'm like, well,
I'm
you
pretty
know-
sure I just said no.
Again, I'm not interested.
yeah, not exactly sure how we got from A to B with that one, but no, indeed you will not. And that ends up with me saying laughing because I actually laugh at those. I mean, I laugh out loud.
Well,
hard.
yeah, because it's like a huge fucking jump. It's like, whoa, okay.
Right,
all
exactly. And they'll keep going with it. Those, I mean, it's now. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I got to be in the right mood. If I'm in a bad mood, that's going down. That conversation
That's going down quick, yeah.
very downhill very quickly. But it's just so pathetic because it's like you can't get me to engage in conversation with you, so you're going to start, rapid fire sexually assaulting me virtually.
Like, because that's just
Literally
gonna
the
make me swoon,
definition of pathetic.
Oh, good lord.
That's just
All right.
fucking swoon worthy.
And Sarah, how about you?
I like 9 times out of 10, if I get a guy angry about a rejection, they call me fat, which is really kind of annoying because it's like, I was definitely fat when you messaged me, and I'm really clear in my profile about my weight. And like if you had a problem with fat people, maybe you could not message me.
To begin
Maybe.
with, in the
But
first
like it's
fucking
just really
place.
pathetic to call me fat if I've rejected you. It's like, and I also am rejecting you, so how do you feel about that?
So I was kind of hoping I would get your thoughts on that one, or maybe somebody else can interject if
Well,
you
I had a
you don't
question
have
here,
an essay
mainly for
written.
Jerry, because she's a mom. Have you ever had guys kind of attack the fact that you're a mother during a rejection? Jerry?
Yes.
You okay? Making sure everyone's alright over there.
Sorry. Missed that.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever had guys attack the fact that you're a mother during a rejection?
Oh God, yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I
it's
get
disgusting.
I get the
have
rejection, and then it's you're a fucking 34-year-old single mother. You're past your prime. You think anyone's gonna want you? You might as well fucking talk to me because I'm the one giving you some time. It's like because
oh.
I'm a
Well,
single
that's the
mother in
same
my
reaction
30s.
as
I've
fat
had
though, it really
worse.
is.
I've had worse.
That's what I get. You're a fucking 34-year-old single mother. You're a fucking loser. You're just looking for
I've
someone to
had,
pay your fucking way. Like, whoa, dude, what the
I've
fuck?
had worse. I've had worse where they're like going after my 25-year-old daughter. Yeah. It's the yeah.
I have the
And
nose
that's what
happening
the
right now.
reason
My
the
nose is
reason I don't tell people that I have a 25-year-old daughter,
because
the
of that
reason
reason.
is because of that reason. Because I get the disgusting hook me up with your daughter, and oh, it's so gross. I
And
get
here
the
I'm thinking being called a fucking piece of shit who's never gonna find a man because I'm, old with a kid is fucking bad.
oh, it's
Shit.
the I could deal with that if
Right.
they would not like want to
Ask to
sexualize
fuck your
my daughter.
Fair enough. I was kind of hoping though we could draw back because I was trying to see if we could get a little bit of a conversation going. Because Sarah brought up what I thought was a very interesting point. Was about how as soon as the guy gets rejected, he turns around and goes, "Oh well, you're fat anyways." And what I have written down here is, if I'm fat now, I was fat 5 fucking minutes ago. You stupid dumbass. So I was kind of hoping we could all just kind of postulate on that one. So we'll start off with Sarah. Sarah, do you want to?
Well, I mean,
Throw your thoughts out first.
honestly, I think it's the same exact thing as saying, "Well, yeah, but you're a single mom and you're horrible." It's the same
Right.
thing.
I say that. The first thing is
Exactly.
I am a single mother. It's right fucking there in my profile. Like,
Yeah.
you clearly fucking knew this before you fucking asked me. And now I'm
You
like,
saw it. You
Yeah,
saw
like-
it.
and now I'm a piece of shit for being a single mother because I completely rejected your fucking knight in shining armor fucking theory. No, I don't need you to fucking save me. Okay, sorry, I don't. Fuck outta here.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, Sarah.
No, it's fine. Someone else can go.
Phil, why don't you step up to bat?
Well, I mean, I think that Sarah was, right on the money. Like I get people saying, well, you're tattooed white, you're white trash. Well, yeah, but but I mean, I was white trash when you messaged me, fucko. I mean, it's not. It's the same thing when they're like, well, you're fat. Well, okay. I mean, this is not news. You message me, and you're, oh God, your tattoos are beautiful. Yeah. And when I say I'm not fucking interested, well, you're white trash. Okay. I mean, again, you're not insulting us, and I think what they try to do is, especially with the fat thing, that's seen as like kryptonite to women. Like that's what men think, that's like, oh my gosh, you call him fat, that's the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can ever do is call him a fat cunt. Well, I'm sorry, I literally have said I mean, the last person who tried that, my response was, "That's Countess cunt to you." And
Exactly.
uh, you take when you don't get offended by what they consider to be this has got to be their kryptonite, then it takes away, once again, it takes away their power.
And that's what it comes down to is they feel like you've taken their power and their masculinity and emasculated them by rejecting them.
Right.
Because,
The
they think
point
they're
is
these
that they
fucking
wanted a
Adonis
cookie.
gods.
That's
Yeah,
the point, is that they wanted a cookie for ever addressing you in the first place. So the fact that you've rejected them because they're like weak pieces of shit, that's what makes them really angry, is that they feel like, but I stooped so low just to talk to you, and you don't want to talk to me? How fucking dare you? That's the point. It's nothing
Right.
to do with the fat. It's nothing to do with being a mom. It's nothing to do with being white, whatever. The point is that they wanted a cookie because they deigned to talk to you. That's the point.
And in their head, they're a man. And just because of the fact that they breathed in your direction and they want to, maybe acknowledge you with their fucking seed, that you're just supposed to fall on your back and open your fucking legs for this. And it's like, no. No. No, your fucking micro dick, no, is not fucking impressive. I'm shocked that your swimmers are that fucking strong to get anybody pregnant from the size of that fucking minuscule shit between your legs. No. Knock it off.
Well
Or
then.
on the head with newspapers like fucking puppies at this point. No. Stop.
Oh, good lord.
I love you.
So, before we wrap it up, because we've gone past the hour mark by this point, and I promised you that I would try not to take up more than an hour of your guys' time.
You were fucking bullet point Nazi. You were fucking time Nazi. What the fuck with you today?
No, I promised them we'd only take up another hour of their time because they were kind enough. Jen, calm down. This is not a time to get outraged. I made a mistake and I am rectifying it. And that's all this is. And it's one that I was really hoping we'd have the chance to last time, because we actually spent about 2 hours on the computer before my technology decided, haha, fuck you, because you're an idiot.
Haha. Haha,
Exactly.
fuck you.
Exactly. So what I have here is kind of just tips for the gentleman out there, and just kind of a way of wrapping it up. And I was kind of hoping that maybe I'd be able to codify, kind of like a 10 commandments for gentlemen who want to go on to dating, if you guys don't, or if y'all don't mind.
Okay.
Farrell?
Well, don't be an asshole. I mean, like
Don't be
That's a
We need to
pretty
get more specific
I
there.
love you. Don't be an asshole. Just don't be an asshole, dude.
But, I
I'm
mean,
not gonna do
that's what it really boils down to. I think honestly that you could give all the tips in the world to a lot of these guys. If they don't start seeing women as people, then it's really not going to be effective. Instead of seeing, I'd urge them, is instead of seeing women as well, even the ones that say I respect them because I have, I got a mother, I got a sister, I got that shouldn't matter. We're human beings.
Exactly.
So that would be, one of the main things that I would say is, you have to, respect women, actually respect them from within and respect them as individuals, before you try and hit on them. The other thing that I would say is, read profiles, and instead of saying hi or hey beautiful or hey sexy or sending a picture of your junk, pick something out of the profile that we find interesting and start a conversation based on that.
Yes.
That's going to show us that you read it. That's going to show us that you're valuing us as a person. That's going to show us that you can have a conversation that isn't based around, hey, want to fuck? That's very, very important. I answer conversations like that every single time.
And it shows that you want to know me as a person, not just some fuck piece.
Right.
You're
treating me as a human being,
exactly.
not a
What I usually tell my guy friends, and this goes for online dating, this goes for outside dating, whatever. I'm like, before you even talk to this fucking woman, before you say a fucking word, think about how you would feel if someone approached your mother or your sister or your daughter the way that you're thinking of how approaching her and what you're thinking of saying. How would you feel if somebody approached a woman that you loved in the same fucking way that you've been approaching these women? And they get real fucking angry. And I'm like, no, no.
Yes, you just approach them by their name. What is wrong with not approaching them by their name? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with saying, hey, Jerry?
Hey, yeah. Hey, Jen. Not hey,
True,
baby. Hey,
that.
sugar. Hey, darling. No.
I know.
Ah, that shit.
What's wrong with that? What is wrong with not? I mean, what is wrong with that?
I've noticed that it's more of a because they see women as property, I guess. So it's kind of like usually the guys that will approach me like that
yeah,
have this whole kind of man you woman kind of view, and it's like instead of humanizing you and giving you like a fucking name, you're something to be owned, like his baby, his honey, his darling. And I'm like, no, I have a fucking name, I'm a fucking person.
They also haven't read your profile far enough to see your name, so there's
You know what? That might be it too. They just looked at the picture and was like, hey, let me stick my
they've
dick in
copied and
that.
pasted it because they have.
Oh, I've gotten a few of those.
There's a
The
bunch
cotton.
of
I'm
them.
like, my favorite is like, especially with Plenty of Fish, when you get the same copy and paste message like 95 fucking times in a matter of 2 weeks, and it's like, dude, you've sent me the same fucking message every 3 days for 3.5 weeks. Come on, I know you're a copy and paste job. No. Which, by the way, ladies, I have learned twice now that if you stick up for yourself on Plenty of Fish, they will deactivate your account. Twice.
Well,
It's happened.
that I think is a whole other topic for
Twice.
conversation.
It's
If we're gonna go
happened.
up on that one.
I just have my
I know
account
how
deactivated
I know how deactivating accounts happen.
Yeah.
I've had my account terminated for the second time now for actually standing up and calling these fucking assholes out for the pieces of shit that they are.
All right, so I think I'm going to give Sarah the chance to kind of give her 2 cents in. Just a couple of tips for gentlemen out in the dating world, specifically, social media. And I do want to make sure that all of you know that I am also compiling this list partially because I have a friend and I think he needs help. And by help, I mean a lot of it because he is really high on himself and he needs to be brought down.
Oh, just point him to
Send
anyone
him my
these
way.
days. Yeah, point him to Farrell's profile. She'll take good care
Farrell,
of
you
him
would.
real quick.
Farrell, I think you would leave this guy in a blubbering mess. That's all that would be left of him after he were done with you.
Farrell
Or
would
you were
leave
done with him.
most people in a blubbering mess.
All right, so Sarah, your turn.
I think honestly the number one thing you can say any of these things whether or not they're going to listen to it, but the end of the day, don't expect a response and number one is do not think anyone owes you one. Like even if you sent the sweetest message, you read their profile, you were really like particular about reading their interests and whatever you did, that's really great, but no one owes you anything. I could have looked at your profile and found something I didn't like, or I could have looked at your profile and decided you're just not attracted to me. Whatever the reason is, I'm allowed to do that and you're allowed to do the same thing. I've sent messages to guys and they ignored them for whatever reason is, but that's okay. Like, that's them and they get to do that and that's allowed. So at the end of the day, you just really need to accept and not get angry or, feel like it's, you need to go and be righteous anger somewhere. Like no one owes you a response.
Or that it's personal. Or that the response is
Agreed.
Agree 100%.
Okay, so I think I have roughly 10 what I think are pretty solid commandments because, it's obviously as a podcast with atheism in the name, somehow we got to hijack something from religion to make it our
This
own.
was not my idea. This was totally not my fucking
This
idea.
is actually kind of like an ad-libbed idea that I just came up with, and I was like, oh,
Blame
this will be
fucker.
brilliant.
Blame this fuckhead because this ain't my shit.
So I'm gonna read off my 10 commandments of online dating for guys, and I want your thoughts. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start at the bottom. Number 10. Do not be an asshole. Number 9. Number 9. If I do not respond, that is not an invitation for you to be angry. I do not owe you a response.
Perfect.
Yes.
Number 8.
Perfect.
Sex requires consent. If you open with sex, you do not have consent. That's called rape.
Yes.
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 Thank you.
Yes.
I like the response on that one. Number 7. Negging is for abusive and emotionally manipulative assholes. I know we
Oh,
talked about it
fucking
last
negging,
time,
yeah.
but we didn't get into it this time. It is a half hour worth of conversation, and I assure you
Yes.
it was worth it.
Yes.
Number 6. If you insult my appearance now, it was the same as when you were attracted.
Yes.
Oops, I forgot to add to me on that one. My bad. See,
Yes.
this is why I don't ad-lib. I usually try to script things like this. Number 5. Rejection is not about dehumanizing you. It is so neither of us waste our time.
So true.
Yes.
Number 4. I went a little biblical on this one. Thou shalt not send dick pics.
Yes.
Yes. Thou
You
shalt
should make
not.
that commandment number fucking 1.
Actually, I think
That
commandment
should be
number 1 works a
number
little
one.
better. Number 3. Pet names are for when you're familiar with someone.
Yes.
That's fucking, even then, there's
Oh
a
my
fucking line.
God.
I tend to think that there's subtext in that one. It's a rough list. So we have number 2. Read a profile before you send a message.
Yes. 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 Yes.
All right, and the number 1 that I have here says, women are people and are to be respected as such.
Yes.
What a
Yeah.
shocking fucking
Seriously,
concept.
is that even a question?
This,
even
the
have to
saddest
even have
part
to
is that
say
I
this
thought I
shit.
had to...
Seriously, is that even a
The
question?
saddest part is you did.
Thank you, Farrell. Because that was my thought. Is the saddest part is that this even needs to be thought of.
It
However,
does though.
It does. You know, as can be seen by the fact that the 3 of you each have a blog dedicated to showcasing this, and you feature much of your own content, as well as take some of your own submissions, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We all take submissions, I think.
Yeah.
I've got to get some of you guys. Like legit ones.
There are some amazing ones that Jen has, and I cannot wait to see them pop up and go, oh, I know her. Oh, we seem to have lost Sarah. Just 1 second. Uh-oh. I hope we haven't lost her.
Sorry.
Hey,
I
you're
don't know
back.
how that happened.
Shit happens.
Skype, am I right? So, all right. So, I'll go through each of the 3 of you one last time before we wrap it all up and let you back to whatever else you could be doing on a Tuesday night.
Sleeping.
There we go.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, closing thoughts as well as, you know, how can people find your blog?
I don't know. Closing thoughts. I don't just do this to make fun of people. I do this because, you know, I want people in my area to be safe. Every now and then I'll find someone particularly, you know, honestly horrendous and, you know, possibly violent. And I want those people in my area to be safe. But there's been times when I've warned people, like, this guy seems like, you know, liable to rape someone, like, based on his conversations, or, you know, people have even found police reports in areas. So blogging is not just about making fun of people. Blogging is, you know, it's not about that. It's about showing people that they're not alone, and trying to keep people safe. Because I've had people say to me in private, which I would never publish because these things aren't meant to be published. But I've had people say to me multiple times, like, hey, like, this, I don't feel comfortable posting my own experiences for whatever reason it is, but I'm really glad that you do, because seeing you post those experiences really makes me feel like I have a voice, and it makes me feel that I'm stronger just because you're sharing your experiences. So I do it because of safety reasons, and I also do it because of those people who don't want to voice anything. So, you know, it's important to me. And of course, you can find me on my Tumblr. I am Fed Up with Cupid.
Wonderful. Farrell, how about you? Closing thoughts, and how can people find you?
I think that Sarah did a really good job. I also wanted to bring attention to the safety aspect of what we do. I think, recently there's been a couple of guys who have set up accounts and tried to basically do what we do, but with women. But the blogs haven't taken off because women just don't behave like this online for the most part.
Shocking.
And I know. And whereas those blogs are, the point is to be vindictive. Our blogs aren't. Yes, we have fun with it. We have to. I mean, you have to laugh for, you're gonna go crazy, but it's very important to, whenever we see something saying, this person's dangerous, regardless of where you are, they could be in Australia. You get that out there, and people are going to see it, and it's going to keep somebody safe. And I think that with the way that a lot of these conversations go, it really is terrifying, and we need to be able to support each other and have each other's backs like this. And for my blog, you can find me on Tumblr. I'm Feral Woman Screaming.
All right. And as I said before, last but most certainly not the least, Jerry, have at it.
I love you guys. I love you guys. I totally love you guys. I love you guys. And I love you. I love this. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome.
So are you, Jerry.
I'm just saying I love you guys.
We love you too.
Before we wrap up tonight, I did want to say that I have noticed that the three of you especially have created what Sarah's highlighted several times as just a chance to, get the voice out there so people don't feel alone. So people don't feel like it's just me. And, I know Jen is aware that she's not alone, but I think for her sitting down, and I'm not going to try to speak for her, but I do think that it kind of gives her a chance to see, and interact with others. You can swap war stories, or any other horror stories or anything like that.
All right, and it's like with me and Farrell, we kind of come at men way more aggressively than most other women bloggers that expose assholes do. And I was, getting like, these guys were literally like, well, see how you fucking act, see how you fucking talk, that's why you're alone. And I'm like, and there was one point where I was really questioning if I was that much of a bitch, and maybe it was me, because I was like too shut down and too aggressive. And then I come across Farrell's and I'm like, nope, I'm good. Nope, I'm fine. I'm fucking fine. I'm not an aggressive shut off bitch. You're just a fucking pussy who can't handle rejection. Fuck you.
And that's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear that.
Well, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank I guess I should say four of you.
I'm here every fucking time. I'm done with you thanking me. I mean, come on, fuck. Really? Fuck, come on.
Yes, because when it comes to this particular issue, I do know that socially we've been conditioned to kind of overlook it as a boy.
Oh, fuck no. I raise a boy and I don't fucking do that
I do
shit.
think it's...
Nope.
I do think it's necessary, and as a male who has been a shithead, as I confessed to you last time, I was an absolute shithead earlier in my life. I want to see men be better because I want to see more, this is the feminist in me talking, saying I want to see a place where women feel safe to go onto social media, where they can post, like Sarah said, pictures of her fucking shoes and not have some creepo go, I'm going to masturbate to this one. If he does, he can keep that inside because, I'm sorry, this is 2016. We're mature adults. We can be better human beings. And that's what I want at the end of the day, is to see people be better. And so, again, I thank each and every one of you for highlighting these experiences and not letting these fuckers get away with it.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I love having you guys. I fucking love having you guys. I love the conversation.
I don't think this is the last time we will have the three of you on. I do hope we get the chance to do it again. There are so many other topics that we can launch off of, and I'm so sorry that we didn't get the chance to. However, I'm not sorry in the sense that, hey, guess what? We get to come back and we get to do this again, and we get to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a
Yes.
part 2 to this. We're gonna
Yes.
where we get into like negging, and we're gonna have to have a part 2 where we get into
And we'll
like,
actually.
the tactics of assholes.
Ooh. Yes, and I will be smart, and
I
will
look.
let it
I
get
look
fucked
forward
up.
to this.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. Really.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in, and hopefully they can reach out to us, and maybe we can point them towards your guys' blogs if y'all are okay
Yes.
with that.
Definitely.
I'll link them into the. I'll link all three of them into the show notes, just so everybody can kind of go see, check what you're all about, and maybe we can strum up some extra followers on Tumblr. And
Wow, you're
because,
fucking really
it's
looking
just
to
the
be a
most important
follow
website
whore
in the
right
world.
now? Shit. What? Oh, I thought you meant like to them, to us. I'm sorry. I'm thinking that like he's trying to put our shit out
Oh,
there. And I
wow.
remembered our show doesn't have a fucking Tumblr. It's been a long fucking dude. It's been a long
No,
fucking
we
day,
don't.
man. Fuck.
I'm okay.
So
I'm
thank you,
okay.
everyone.
Thank
I
you.
didn't mean like follow whores for you guys. I thought he was trying to get follow whores for our show, and then realized we don't have a Tumblr. So
No, we don't. We don't. Social
you've
social
done
medias
so
are,
many
are
of those, and I'm
board
just
meeting
like,
next
I don't
week.
even know where we are anymore. I just we're so okay.
All right. We've tried saying goodbye about 3 or 4 times, and I'm gonna
Bye.
stop. recording.
Stop.
Goodbye, everybody.
The Not Another Atheist podcast experience is run by Jen and Keith. If you wish to contact the hosts, please write to nehehp@gmail.com. They can be found at facebook.com/NotAnotherAtheistPodcast, or search Not Another Atheist Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play to subscribe and leave reviews.
I'm picking up my panties and I'm going home. Okay.